Hey everybody, thanks for holding out for me while we wait for some cars. I'm sitting in a car that just came in and I couldn't resist filming it, even though I've done a video on one that's close. Today we're sitting in a 2022 Camry XSE all-wheel drive with some options. Let's check it out. Here it is. So the XSE has always been a step above its little sister, the SE, which was the car people got when they wanted something with a little bit more going on, you know, a little bit more of a responsive suspension and feel, and some styling. So what we're gonna do in the video, like most of my videos, is we'll talk about the outside of the car. I'll go over the engine and the way it feels when you drive it. And then we'll go inside and talk about the technology. And for those that wonder, so I'm not even a red car guy, but this supersonic red is very nice. I don't think the video is going to do it justice. It really pops. And when you get in a sporty car like this with black accents, it really pops against the black. And you know, the styling on the car is what the Camry has been since 2018. So unless you've been under a rock, this is the styling of the Camry. The Camry's come a long way. It has a much wider stance in this generation compared to the other ones. It's a lower stance. It's not the quote-unquote grandma's car that some people used to call this. It's got some body lines inspired by Lexus without giving you too much hips. But onto the front, which is my favorite, I love the headlights. And one way to tell right away that you're working with the XSE instead of the SE is going to be your triple J LEDs. So on the headlights, you have these 3 J's. And those are going to light up an LED, super bright white, for your daytime runner lights. And then you have super bright white light LED lights coming through the projector beam right there, which is a flip mirror for high beams. Gorgeous. You know, it's part of the sport family because the grille is kind of what I call squinting. So things are kind of coming together into the middle, which gives it a very sporty aerodynamic look with that honeycomb looking grille. Nice big silver lip on the bottom, which you don't get with the SE. So that gives it a strong chin. And if we get close here, we have a really dark gray metallic finished paint right here in the front that goes underneath of the eyes and wraps around the bezel to where there would be fog lights. Let me know what you think. Does the Camry need fog lights? Are you upset that Toyota got rid of them? To me, I'm not really worried about it. I feel like fog lights are more of a thing for looks, but it kind of would have been cool for them to put some type of a strip, like an LED or something in there. Not a big deal to me though. The wheels went from an 18-inch that would have been on the SE to a 19-inch on the XSE, and it's going to be fully painted black instead of black with a machine finish. Very nicely done, and that's right from the factory. Ventilated brakes, and this is an all-wheel drive car, so we'll talk about in a couple minutes. Now there is a way that you can get the XSEs with the black roof and the black matching mirrors, which is really nice, but as you guys know, production has been very limited with everything. And moving on to the back, look at the way that black just pops on the wheels. Very nice against the red. The SE and XSE has what I call like a teardrop here with louvers that are supposed to help slice through the wind. They're actually functional, believe it or not. No, it's not going to cut your drag times on the car, but they do actually have a function, which is cool. They probably would have been going overboard if they put diffusers up top here like you see on some of the sports cars, but they're adding in a flare of performance without going crazy. Another fun fact about these cars is that your taillights at nighttime, the SE is just going to be your little red square there on each side, Whereas the XSE, you're gonna have that full red wishbone. Double dual exhaust in the back. So we have 2 tailpipes. And these are functional here. So this isn't for looks. Shouting out Corolla XSE people. This is function. And that's what I like. So you're gonna see, you know, your steam, your exhaust fumes coming out of both of these in the morning when you cold start it. The V6, speaking of cold start, is available for the XSE, but you can't get the all-wheel drive with the V6. I know what you're thinking, but we can't take the TRD off of the podium, you know what I'm saying? But here are the looks. Nice little lip wing. I'm not a big wing guy. I don't like deck wings, but the lip, I think the lip gives it a little bit of flair, which pairs nicely with the ground effects, if you want to call it, that we have down here. I kind of like that they didn't go black. And if you saw my video about the Prime, the RAV4 Prime XSE, they were generous on the black. I like that we have more of a uniformed red look with pops of black. Speaking of black, the only reason that the roof looks black here is because this is all glass. Because this has the panoramic glass option, which is an optional thing for this car. There it is. Let's talk about the engine and powertrain real quick. Okay, so we're working with a small power plant. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, no turbo, naturally aspirated, made it to a geared transmission, no CVT. So it's a super reliable engine. Toyota's been doing its 2.5 4-cylinders for a while now. Just giving you some close-ups for my mechanically savvy people. Air box right over here, so it's easy to just take these little clips down, pop this open and check my air filter. Batteries right over here, which is easy to get to. Got my brake system out back, my fuses. Fueling system is easy to get to. Here's my fuel rail right up top. I can check my oil. That's just a dust cover, which will give me easy access to my coil packs. Got the alternator right up top. Saying a couple 100,000 miles, that's gotta go. It's right there. It's not tucked away behind a bunch of stuff. And of course, your radiator and your air conditioning system is right here. Just take these plastic clips out and you can slide it out like a Game Boy cartridge. So the power on this car, I'd say it's good. You put it in sport mode, it's got some torque. No, it's not a performance car. Yes, the V6 is gonna make you happier if you must have that power. It's 206 horsepower. It's made to give you a little pep to your step without making you spend sports car money. You know, a lot of what you're spending on this is gonna be a little bit of a firmer suspension, more of a firmer feel. You know, it's the whole package. It's not just the engine. You're looking at styling as well. So, and you guys know Toyota. I mean, if you don't know Toyota, Toyota's more of a reserved company. If you need the absolute race car, spend a few more thousand for the Supra or get the V6. That's gonna bring it to the table. But for styling, elevated, with a little bit more of a sporty feel, this car does it, and it hugs the turns very nicely. With the snow out, I'm not gonna go take it and hug the turns. That's not smart to do on cold pavement. But with those back wheels kicking in and helping you out, it's great. And speaking of the all-wheel drive system, it is available on this car. We're not seeing the availability of all-wheel drive on the hybrid yet, which I'll get into in a future video. But the way it works is you're primarily gonna be front-wheel drive. When the car senses any type of a slip on those front wheels, it's gonna kick in the back wheels automatically for you, and it's gonna give up to 50% of that power to the back wheels. So it's nice that it can be an even split. Instead of doing a 75-25, you can do a 50-50, which is really gonna give you that confidence, especially if you're driving a little bit more sporty. All right, now let's look at some cargo space on this car. The trunk comes up and stops itself instead of flinging up. So some trunks on cars, you release it and it goes bong, bong, bong. This comes up and stops itself and goes nice and slow. Let's check out our cargo storage. It's big. I'm not gonna try to exaggerate here with angles, but yeah, you can definitely put a lot of stuff in here. And when you get inside, the ceiling is up high here, so yeah, you got a lot of cargo room in this car. Nice all-weather mat here. I got some hooks for my bungee nets. Quick quick release for the seats. You just pull that and it unlocks the seats on that side, or it unlocks the seats on that side. It is a 60-40 split, so you can do 2 seats down with 1 up, 1 seat down with 2 up, or both. Then underneath here, I have a little hook that I lift up. And I have some styrofoam with my tools for my spare. And then when I lift up the styrofoam, there it is, tucked away. A little donut, no sprinkles. So that's that. People like the Camry because it has a lot more storage than the Corolla. Let's jump in the back seats. All right, so here's what it looks like getting into the back. Love that panoramic. Helps your rear passengers relieve themselves of that tucked in claustrophobia that some people might get after a long trip. So I'm just under 6 feet. I'm a couple inches away, and this chair is in the position of somebody who's probably about 6 foot right here. And this is the amount of space I have. That's a good 10 or 11 inches on my feet. Lots of space. I almost feel like I'm in the back of an Avalon. I can aim the AC at my face here, heat myself up or cool myself down. I don't have my own temperature, but at least I can get some of the air back here, which is, I feel like should just be standard now. I mean, we're spoiled, right? We need everything. Beautiful LED lights in the back. In person, they're super white. The camera looks like it's making it a little yellow, but these are not yellow. These are ultra white. And you can do them individually here, but they're on right now because that door is open. Nice perforations on the center here with a hex design. And if I dig my hand in here, I have a nice armrest that comes all the way down. And it's got enough room for 2 people and a drink. I have storage behind each seat, not just one like in the Tacoma. And I can fit my fist sideways without really feeling like I'm ripping things. So you can put a decent amount of stuff in there. So if you got the kids in the back, or you got to put your laptop in there, you can probably even fit a clutch in there if you need to get it out of your way while you're relaxing. Here's my door card. No button for the rear heated seats, but automatic windows up and down. So I got the auto window right over here. Speakers on the door. This material here is nice and soft. It's not huge, but it's just enough. It's just enough for me to be comfortable on the rides. I can rest one arm here. Get the other arm over here. And what I also like is the angle of the seat here isn't as upright as it is in a lot of other cars. It's hard to show it, but it's reclined a little bit. Not too much to the point where I feel like I need to lean forward to do things. They got this angle perfect, at least for me. I'm not afraid to point out things I don't like, but this setup here, for me, is very relaxing. I feel like I could probably take a nap in the upright position, which is very hard for me to do. I gotta lay down to fall asleep a lot. Let me know if you guys fall asleep as passengers. Are you paranoid? Are you too afraid to do it? I really got to trust the person, but here's what it looks like from the rear. So sitting in my position, this headrest is in my way. I do have to lean to see what's in front, but I can see all out this window here. And like I mentioned, I got this beautiful view of the sky, which I was never a panoramic roof guy, but sitting in this car, look at all the visibility as a rear passenger. I like this. I'm a truck guy, I have a truck, but you know, my mentality changes when I get into a car. This is great. I don't feel like I'm squeezed away in a 2-door car. Some sedans, the sunroof starts right here and I just feel like I'm trapped, but there's the view. That's me ending my rant about the back seats. I would rate the back seats an A+. Now I don't really wonder as much as to why the Avalon is retiring, because the Camry is just doing such a good job at what the Avalon does, but offering more. But we can talk about that in the comments, guys. Shout out Avalons. I'd like to see some Avalon love. Now before we go inside the most important part of the car, the front, I want to show you some of the lights. Let's check out the lights. Okay, so here are the lights. There's those triple J's and my super white headlight here. That's gonna shoot that LED light real far down the road so I can see the deer way ahead of time. Very cool. Onto the taillights. Little things like this are important. That's gonna make you visible at a side profile. There it is, the wishbone in red. Now that at nighttime, that light up wishbone here, oh yeah, that's my favorite shape lately. If you've seen my Tacoma videos, I spent extra money just to get those headlights that it came with. All right, let's go inside the driver's seat and talk about the technology and features. And this is what it's like getting into my 2022 Camry XSE all-wheel drive. Now let me actually get in. Let's do a startup, press the brake, push it once. There it is. That's cool. This is the same on all of them, but I thought that introduction was very nice. All right, now I can take my gloves off and enjoy my heated steering wheel. So excuse me for a moment while I do that. Here's what it looks like from my perspective. Visibility is great. The location of the mirror is perfect because I can see here. Instead of the mirror being here, they put it on the door and I can see right there, and there was no need to add an extra glass like in the SUVs. Got the USB plugs down here with a carpet. Two small complaints, but this started in 2018, so it's kind of getting old. But the glove box, it could be a little bigger. You know, the books are taking up the majority of the room in here. It's little, but with the shape of the dash, yeah, what could you do, you know? But people are gonna notice it. It's on the small side. I mean, look how little this little door is. It's not even as long as my hand. Second one is gonna be door storage. Door storage is kind of light. That's my hand. Can't even get my hand in there. So if I'm getting a bottle that goes into my hand, that's gonna be tough. And I like to use blender bottles. They have it at like an angled setup. Unless you're using super small, like here's my hand. That's it, like here's the boundary. So unless you're using super small bottles, I don't even know if you're putting drinks in here. I think you're just throwing a sunglass case, chapstick and keychains, maybe a little book or something, an agenda. I don't really know what you can do with that. But I also have to consider the fact that this is in the perfect place. It literally isn't the perfect height, with the same nice comforting feeling of a softer material here, harder up here. It gets soft as you go down, and it's a little bit more plush right here. Not luxury status, but comfortable, and the perfect height for when your seat is adjusted at the right height. I always adjust my seats so that my eyes fall dead center between the bottom and the top of the windshield, and my armrests always land on the perfect spot every single time. But yeah, the storage is light, but you know, you didn't get an SUV, you didn't get a pickup truck, you got a sporty Camry, so there are gonna be a couple sacrifices when you get the smaller car. Like the older Toyotas, you get your little knick-knack storage right over here, which is great. my auto down windows all around, auto up all around. Heated steering wheel, you already know that's on. That's gonna give me heat from here to here. It's gonna be cold on the bottom and on the top. Now, if you saw my Tundra video, they made the heat go all the way around. Maybe we'll see that happen in the future, but that feels really nice. I like the way that feels. My fingertips are a little cold, even with the sturdy gloves. It was about time I got inside here. And heated seats right here, 3 different levels: medium, low, off, back on. No ventilated, at least not in this car. By the shifter, I also have some more storage here underneath the wireless charging. Then I just push that and it'll close, and I can put my smartphone here to turn on or off the wireless charging for that. Flip up doors for my plugs, my 12 volt and my USB. I don't mean to jump all over the place. I just wanted to do a basic introduction to the car. This is what Toyota calls a floating display. So it's kind of hovering above this control area here. Everything is directed towards the driver. And I like the style of this. Even though the tablet is sitting up top, when I put my camera here right at eye level, it's actually below the line of the dash. So it blends right in. Nice red gauges here with a big LCD display. The lighting is tough, so let me close my shade. There we go. I can see it better now. Nice display here that I can see different features and information. I'll go through that in a couple minutes. The stitching on the steering wheel feels very nice. A fun little fact, that's actually the last thing they do on the Toyotas when they're done being built, is a person sits in the car here and they sew this up by hand. So you can feel when things are hand done. Well, at least I can. And I got a taste for stuff like that. So when you get the leather steering wheel, the leather wrapped steering wheel here, it feels great. I love the way that feels. It's like having a really high quality steering wheel cover. The steel lines that are just shooting real quick through the car give you the image of speed, and they match nicely with these door handles. I also like that it's not chrome. It's more of a brushed finish, so it's not shooting sunlight into my face and blinding me. We also see that design continuing here through the steering wheel. The chrome in the badge is nice though, because it glitters, but it's not coming from an angle. You also have that nice brushed steel look over here, wraps around the cup holders. And then we're working our way in to almost like a carbon fiber look-alike. I don't need carbon fiber, but that adds the sportiness to it. This is going to be a very dark gray, slightly polished finish here that goes down, which is going to kind of transition us from that steel of the door onto a darker gray and work our way up to that carbon fiber look-alike. So there's a lot of nice fluid but fast design in this car. I'm starting to get an eye and appreciation for design cues. Here's the look of that at a distance. And that dark gray that starts here actually goes up and wraps around and bezels the vent, which is very nice. And then of course I have my own individual bezel here for the vent over here. You can't close these vents right here. You can push them to the side, but there's no way to close them. You can close these vents. I adjusted the display so that this stuff is red and black, but from the factory it's going to be probably white and blue or black and blue, but there's a way to do that I'll discuss. Moving up top, super bright LEDs here, and this is nice because it's the same as in the back, so you have that continuity. Unfortunately, there are still a couple cars that Toyota makes where you get nice lights up front, then you get the yellow ones in the back, but that's getting phased out, which is nice. And of course that panoramic moonroof that it opens up in the front. This section here will open and go out over the car. That's gonna stay the way it is, but I'm gonna close this because it's helping us see the screens a little bit better. So yeah, the driver's seat is very comfortable. The visibility is great. This car has 10 airbags in it. So I don't know if you've met anybody that crashed in a Toyota. I've met a lot of them. I've also met people that have crashed in some other brands. I'm not saying that all other brands are not as safe, but Toyota definitely holds the reins tightly when it comes to leadership in the safety segment. And with 10 airbags all over this car, including a driver knee airbag to protect your knees. If you ever want to learn the importance of having all these airbags, just go to IIHS online and watch some of those videos and see how important that is. So yeah, that's the basic introduction. Straight shifter, very nice. Parking brake comes on automatically for you, which I like. The shifting is very smooth. I don't really have to work hard to shift it. The backup camera has really good legibility, crystal clear. And with the XSE, I have the dynamic rear view camera, so I can actually change it to have more of a peripheral view. It'll be a little more distorted, or the regular view. And then I can change the lines here, which is cool. So I can do the dynamic lines. I don't like those dynamic lines because I don't aim with the backup camera. You can do these, which even change a little bit. I'm the kind of guy that likes just that. Just show me about a foot away when I'm getting close and I'm good to go. Paddle shifters for plus and minus. When I go down to drive and I shift it to the left, in the shift mode, not only can I shift it forward and back like this, see how it says the gear I'm in? I can also shift it forward like this and back like that. And I can drive this thing all 8 speeds like a monster, like I'm in a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. I just won't be catching up to them. The 2-zone climate control, I'm gonna sound spoiled. I feel like it's a must. It's not a must. I'm just teasing you guys. I'm gonna get somebody wild up in the comments. It makes things a little more comfortable. I can put it a little hot over here, cool it down over here, and we're good to go. Or I can synchronize it and change it all from the driver's side. So yeah, I'm very happy with this car. I'm not really a car guy anymore though. Ever since I got my Tacoma, I'm really a truck guy. But I sell a lot of Camrys, people like them, and with the all-wheel drive in the back, it's definitely something that you want to consider. Especially if you're in New York, where it snows, you know, it's winter and it's cold and slushy and rainy. Or if you just want a little more power to the back. But I hope that was a good introduction. And now we're gonna get ready to enter the fast button overview. Okay, so welcome to the fast button overview. In my fast button overviews, I go pretty quick, so you may want to use the pause button or slow down the speed of the video. This is just so I can cover everything in the car and give you a easier digestible version of what's in the college course of Toyota Camry. And that way you can just jump to the video and use it as a guide. I like to go from left to right so you know what to expect. I tend to save the screen to the end. And once I get down to the shifter, I'll work my way up. So onto the door card, I have my auto down windows all around and auto up. So if I push it down hard, it'll go down. I can even stop it and go up and half press to stop it there. So it's all automatic all the way up and down on all 4, which is great. I have my door locks right here, which I have 2 little nubbies on the lock, which is gonna be just like on here. You feel for the nubbies and that's where the lock is. This little guy is gonna be my window lock, so I can lock the windows here, but it'll still let me do the windows from the driver's door. It's just gonna prevent other people from doing it on the other doors. If I turn this little wheel to the left, I can adjust the left mirror by toggling it, and I can also toggle it from side to side. This is gonna be the neutral position, and that's gonna be the right mirror toggling. But I need to raise this mirror up a little bit. And then I'll put it back to neutral so that if I accidentally hit this, it doesn't adjust things. And that'll get confusing if you move your mirror around while you're driving and you're trying to play with that. Like I mentioned, I have my storage right over here. And down below, I have my hood latch. No more buttons on the floor, but these little guys, if I turn it horizontal, it lets me take my floor mat up. So when I put my floor mat back in, I want to make sure I turn it back in like this so it's crisscrossed. That way that doesn't slide under the brake pedal. Onto these buttons, if I press that, I have automatic high beams only when my headlights are in auto and this is pushed forward. Then I'll have the automatic high beams. Toyota's starting to make it away so that when you have automatic high beams on here, whether you're forward or not, it'll do it. But I'm just so used to making it a habit to put it into auto there. Now if I turn this off, I wouldn't have the auto high beams anymore. So this has to be on. This will turn off my traction control and vehicle stability control, which are safety features that stop power to the wheels that are slipping to regain your traction. The only reason you'd want to really turn that off is if you want to allow for some wheel slip. So if you're driving in some gravel or some mud, or you're parked and it got snowy and you're trying to get out of your parking spot, then you might want to turn that off. It will turn back on when you turn the car back on. If I press and hold this, it'll open up the trunk like I showed you before. And this is going to be for the gas cap, same idea. And that's for the heated steering wheel, which, like I mentioned, will give me heat from here to here. These little buttons hidden are going to adjust the brightness to the gauge display or do my odometer and trip. So if I push the down one, you'll see I can dim things down at night, or I can turn it back up. Now on the bottom right of the screen, it shows my miles. If I push this, it'll go to trip A, then I press and hold to clear it, press it again for trip B, clear, back to odometer, trip A, trip B, odometer. So that's all right here. Some Toyotas have the little push thing that you can twist, but on the Camry it's right here. On the side of the steering wheel, I have a lever that I can pull down, and I can adjust the steering wheel like so, and I can even go in and out for that perfect spot. Remember, you want lots of space between your body and the airbag so it can work properly. On the headlight stock, I have daytime running lights off, auto, which will sense when it's dark out. There's a sensor right here on the dashboard that will sense. So if you leave objects on the dash, it will think it's nighttime if you cover that up. Parking lights, which will light up all the interior lights in a nice light blue, but dim down the headlights so you're not distracting people. So that's for when you're parked. And headlights manually. A lot of people do like to leave in auto. For some reason, I see a lot of people driving with their daytime running lights off. LEDs last almost forever. It's not worth it, guys. Stay visible. If I gently push this, I'll get a 3 blink, which is great for merging on the highway. Or if I hold it, it'll keep blinking. You can also give people a quick flash and put it back into auto high beams like that, as long as this guy's on. To shut the vent, I can scroll that down or have half or have full airflow. And like I showed you, I have the downshift and I have the upshift right there. Horn is right here in the middle. And then onto the wipers, it's like most cars. So if I click this down once, it'll go once in a while. And I can change how often it goes here. So this will go more often. That'll go less. If I click down again, it'll be low. And then down again is gonna be high. But I'm gonna bring these all the way back up to off because I don't need them. If I pull this towards me, I get the washers. Buttons on the steering wheel. These arrows are gonna move the MID, which is a multi-information display. Then you can select and press back. On the multi-information display, so if I hit the down arrow here, I have these little menus on the left. That's gonna scroll through the menus, which will show me different information. So the leaf menu is gonna show me economy. Then you see these 3 little dots. That means I can go side to side to see even more information. A lot of people like this screen because they like to see the digital view of their speed. Now if I press the down arrow, that's going to give me some navigation information. It's like my driving support page. It'll show me if my lane departure alert is on, what my automatic cruise control is doing. This shows me the music that's playing. Here's some more vehicle information. I can see individual tire pressures. And it tells me which systems are on. So the pre-collision system is on and is sensing if there's cars coming or people walking. That has pedestrian detection. Blind spot monitor is on and working, and rear cross traffic alert is on and ready. So the pre-collision system, real quick, uses a camera here and a sensor in the badge to detect if you're about to hit something like a car or a person. It'll alert you, and if you don't brake in time, it's going to try to stop for you. You can change the sensitivity to that in your settings, which is right here. If you go down one more menu, see, I can change settings to all these systems here. So the car hitting another car, if I press and hold the OK button, I can turn it on or off or change the sensitivity, and then I just push the back button, which is right here, to go back. I can even change some settings for my lane departure alert. The blind spot monitor. That's going to be a little orange light that lights up in the corner, the mirror if somebody's riding in the blind spot. If you signal into that lane they're in, it's going to strobe at you, but it won't beep. So that system is on and working. Rear cross traffic alert, RCTA. When you're in reverse and it senses somebody walking, you'll get a little people symbol. If there's a car driving, it's going to alert you too by beeping. I also know that these systems are on because on the top left of the screen, it shows them in green. There's not an alert for the pre-collision system being on because that's part of Toyota Safety Sense, and these two are not. So if any systems on the pre-collision system are off, it'll give you a warning symbol. So that's my arrow, select, and back button. This is going to be to pick up and hang up calls. This will change the volume to the calls or the music that I am playing. And then this is for voice commands. So if I press that, it'll beep and then I talk. Don't talk before it beeps. Pro tip. Part of Toyota Safety Sense is your automatic cruise control, which we call dynamic radar cruise control. So I would press the radar button and then hit set. Now the car is going to be in cruise control going down the highway, and I can change the sensitivity with that button. There's going to be 3 sensitivity levels. If I want regular cruise control, I have to press and hold this button, and then on the display, you'll see a symbol just like this, but the car goes away and the arrow moves to the other side here on the left. That means it's not going to sense things and slow down on its own. To cancel the cruise control, I just hit cancel or press the brake, and I can reset right there. This is going to be my lane departure alert. So if I push that, I get the little white symbol up top. Sorry, I gotta get the right angle. This little guy right here. That's the car going out of its lane. That's gonna beep when you're going out of your lane and try to steer you back in your lane. And also, revised on the Toyota Safety Sense, when you're in the dynamic radar cruise control, you have lane trace assist. So it'll try to keep you in the center of the lane. It's not a self-driving car, but you'll feel the wheel, like as the highway goes to the right a little bit, you'll feel the wheel kind of doing this to stay in the center of your lane, which is cool. So it guides you. This will go through my different audio modes like AM, FM, Bluetooth, and Sirius radio. If I press and hold the mode button, it'll mute the music or pause it. And then this will go through my songs. So that's everything on the steering wheel. We did the steering wheel stalks. We did all the buttons on the door, on the left side of the dash. I get a lot of questions about these buttons, so I just want to zoom in again. A lot of important buttons on this side. The secret buttons over here and what they do. And we went over the menus quickly on the MID. And just to revisit the MID, multi-information display, I have my different menus. Some of them I can go left and right in those menus like this. But most people like this menu, which shows the digital speed, my distance to empty. On the bottom left of the screen, I have my outside temp. Next to that is a little symbol of a snowflake in the road, just letting me know there's a chance it could be icy. What gear I'm in, so say I put it in reverse, goes to R, drive, or if I go over to shift mode, it'll show me what gear I'm in. So I don't really have to look down at the shifter to tell what I'm doing. I just gotta look up at the screen. So I know I'm definitely in park because it says P. And I have the time on the top right there, which that time is off an hour, so let's change the time real quick. Menu, setup, clock. How easy was that? Done. done. It's a pretty accurate watch. 12 o'clock. My RPMs are on the left. My engine temperature is on the bottom left. My fuel level is on the bottom right. And there's a little arrow next to that symbol that tells me the gas cap is on the driver's side and my speed. Simple, easy to read, easy to use. Up top, when I slide this, I have an LED light here. That's gonna be super white, which, like I mentioned, is really nice because it matches these. And when the sun is in my way, I have a slide out piece. So this actually doesn't slide, there's a slide out piece for you. Showed you the storage. We got the USB plugs right over here. Heated seats, 3 levels each. This you don't have to press because when I put it into drive, it releases on its own. When I put it into park, it re-engages in 2 seconds. You can tell it's on because it says park right over here. So pro tip, if you're parking on a little bit of a hill, right? Say you were driving. Once you put in park, keep your foot on the brake and wait till you see it say park. Then take your foot off the brake and it won't roll. We have a brake hold feature, which is great for city driving or the drive-through. You have to be buckled up for that feature. When I push this, I get the little green guy over here. Now I'm gonna go into drive, and now it's gonna hold me. I can tell it's holding me because it says hold in gold. So that means the feature's on, that means it's being used. When it's in gold, I can actually be in drive, and see, we can tell we're in drive here as well, and take my foot right off of that brake pedal, and I'm chilling. I give it a little bit of gas, and it releases, and once I come to a stop again, and it says it in gold, I can release again. So great for busy driving. Just don't forget, put it back in park when you're done. When you're in reverse, it's not going to do that feature, which makes sense because you're more likely to forget you're in reverse than to forget you're in drive. So that would be a headache if you were brake holding and we're like, oh, it's good to go now, and you press the gas and you're going backwards. So it's only available for drive. I have an Eco, Normal, and Sport mode on this car, like most Toyotas. When I push Eco, the screen is actually gonna light up a little green on the bottom here, see? And it's gonna say Eco on the top left. What that does is it depowers the car and it boosts my gas economy. You can change these while you are driving. When I hit normal, it cancels that. That's gonna be a blend between the two. When I hit sport, that's my favorite one. It's gonna light up red. And it's gonna say sport on the top left. That's gonna give me a little bit more pep to my step. It's gonna help the transmission rev out a little bit more and boost the torque. If you have a hybrid car, sport mode is gonna unleash even more torque because it's gonna change the way those electric motors torque you up. Like I mentioned, I have my storage over here and I have my wireless charging over here. This little guy's gotta get clipped back in. Plugs, don't want to be redundant. The push button starter, that's how you turn it off. It says check rear seat just so you can check for kids. Sad that that reminder's there, but helpful. Hopefully it'll save a life or two. To start the car, you press the brake and the push start button. You don't have to hold it. It starts right up. To shut it off, you don't need the brake. You can turn it off like that. Now with key turns, I know people like the key sometimes because when you click it forward without starting it, you get the battery. Like you can use the radio. Just do it without pressing the brake. Now I got my radio. And then people say, well, if I click the key forward 2 times, I'll get the AC without starting the engine. That's fine. Push it again. There's my AC. Then I want to start it up. Press the brake, start it up. Done. Super simple. I leave this in my pocket. The car will sense when I'm inside of it and it'll start up when I push this. If I grab the door handle, it'll unlock the car, and the 2 little lines on the door handle will lock the car. I'm gonna show you that right now. Those 2 little lines. Locked. To unlock it, done. You can set it so it unlocks all 4 doors, but it just does the driver door as a safety thing. Now, say the key fell out of my pocket and it's under the seat somewhere, and I lock it. See, it unlocks. And on the screen, it's gonna be hard to see. It would tell me there's a key detected in the vehicle. So when the car's making beeping sounds, peer through the window at your MID, because that's your best friend. It's gonna tell you what the car's doing. See, look, key inside vehicle. There it is. Say the battery dies. The key actually slides out. Like that. And I can get inside the car. And even with no battery in here, I jump in. Say the battery is fully not even in here and this is together. I go like this and it'll start right up. So that's a pro tip. I also have a video on how to deactivate your key fob in case you want to protect yourself from criminal activity, because they do give off a signal that can expose you to car theft. But it's easy to prevent that. So check out that video. On to the climate control. So I have the two knobs for two different temperatures. I can sync it and change it all from here. I have my front defrost right here, which will just change everything from here to front windshield no matter what. And I have rear with the mirrors right over here, which is great. If I want to go back to like face and feet, there it is. I can turn the system off here or just resume it by pressing the fan speed. Recirculate, I can turn off or on right here. AC and air direction. It might look a little weird to people who are new to Toyota, but if you think about it, everything is next to its spot on the screen here. See, fan speed is next to its symbol, air direction is next to its symbol, temperatures are right here. Pro tip, in the hot weather when you're using AC, use recirculate as well, because it'll keep cooling air that's already cold. So that's our simple AC. Hazards are easy to get to. This doesn't flash when they're on, but they're right in the middle. Up top, I have home link for 3 different garages. Trying to get some focus. There we go. You can link it up to 3 different garages, and this button will turn off the auto dimming feature, but it has auto dimming, so it'll get dark when it senses the bright lights behind you. I have my individual LEDs, and I can set it so they come on with the door or don't, and I can turn them all at once, which will even light up the back ones as well. So simple control panel up here. All new Toyotas are going to come with Toyota Safety Connect for the first year unlimited miles. So once you register, which you got to get the app and register, it's free, it can save your life. It saves 2 of my customers' lives. You push the button once and you can talk to somebody, but if you push it 2 times, it sends a help me signal. If you get in a crash and the airbags go off, it sends a signal automatically to you. So very cool stuff here. On to the final part, the screen. So on most Toyota screens, you have these 2 knobs here, and you have 4 buttons on top of each. I have the power and volume for the radio. Map, which if I have dynamic navigation, I'll have an in-house navigation. Otherwise, you can do Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Here's my audio system here with my different sources. Just tap the source. Menu, which is where you'll spend a lot of time when you just got the car, because this is where I can change some settings, like my color theme. Check that out. I can even turn the screen off and still listen to music, which is nice for that brightness. Easy to do. That's where I change the clock, my language. I can even customize what the home screen shows, which we're gonna get into the home screen in just a moment. You can change the entire layout. I can see some info here about gas mileage. And I can access 2 other menus that are also accessed from here, because here's the phone and the audio there. So everything is interwebbed. Seek and track for the radio, tune and scroll for AM and FM, and apps, which will prompt me for my authorization app for Remote Connect, notifications, and Wi-Fi. Just trying to keep it quick, guys. If I go over every fine-tuned little thing in here, it will take a while. But on the left here, I can go down to vehicle, and I can even do some customizations for door locks and lights. I can train it to recognize my voice. I can change the volume to things. The home screen is a great place to see different information all at once. So I can see what's playing on the radio, my gas mileage, and I can do like shortcuts to my contacts when I'm connected to Bluetooth. So there's your crash course to the screen. No CD player. That's been well, they've been phasing it out for a couple years. And there it is. That was a comprehensive view over the 2022 Camry. Let me know what you guys think of the car, if this video helped. I'm getting a lot of requests for the 2022 Highlander Hybrid Platinum, which is a very specific car. But I couldn't resist this because this is a super nice car. If you have a Camry, let us know what color you got, what trim it is, what year it is, how many miles, how you like it, how it served you. I love to hear in the comments about people's experiences with their cars. And shoot me some requests. If it's the Highlander Platinum Hybrid, tell me you want to see it if you're a new person that wants to see it. If you want to see a different version of the Camry, I'll gladly do it when it comes in. But without any more to say, thank you again for all of your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.